Namaste friends, we continue our journey into the Bhagavad Gita. We completed 3 chapters and we start the 4th chapter now, which is called as Gyan Karma Sannyas Yoga or Gnan Karma Sannyas Yoga for Gujaratis and Marathis, Maharashtrians, or Maharashtrian would say Gnan Karma Sannyas Yoga. And I have said as in the beginning also that the Marathi pronunciation seems to be the closest to the Sanskrit pronunciation. Jnana Karma Sannyas Yoga. So let's start. Shri Bhagavan Uvach starts with the Bhagavan Uvach. Bhagavan Krishna is speaking. Shri Krishna, Shri Bhagavan spoke. Bhagavan, as I have said multiple times, Bhagavan comes from the root word Bhag. Bhag means wealth, the blessings, the best of everything. So one who himself is blessed with everything, the best of everything, can bless us all also. All of us can seek blessings from one who is the highest blessed, most blessed. Shri Bhagavan Uvach. What is he saying? Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivasvan manve praha manur ikshva kave abravit. The yoga theory of in Hindu culture or Indian culture, the long millions of years of yogas, who was the primordial man, who came in the beginning, who was his descendant and so on. That's what Krishna is referring to here. Imam Vivasvate Yogam, the blessed Lord spoke, Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Imam Vivasvate Yogam, I proclaim this imperishable yoga to Vivasvat. Vivasvat is a unique term, we have forgotten this term, but this means Surya. Bhagavan Surya ka naam is Vivasvat. Imam Vivasvate Yogam. I spoke this yoga to Vivasvat. I proclaim this imperishable yoga. Proktvan aham avyayam. Avyayam, imperishable. Vyay, I have mentioned in earlier episodes also. Vyay means to spend, to perish. Avyay, that is that which is imperishable. Apavyaya, that when there is a lot of wastage. Mitvyaya, when there is very less wastage. Right? All these words are very interesting, sometimes used in Hindi as well. Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, North Indian languages at least. Right? So, I proclaim this imperishable yoga to Vivasvat. Vivasvat communicated it to Manu. Vivasvan manve praha. Praha spoke. Vivasvan manve to Manu. Manu, he spoke. Manur ikshvakave abravit. And Manu spoke to Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku, which gave the lineage of Ikshvaku Vansh, in which Sri Ramchandra also was born in Ayodhya. So it's a long tradition. We're talking here millions and millions of years of ages and ages, eras and eras, all Dwapar Yuga, Satyuga, Kali Yuga, all those eras are combined here. So Vivasvat basically means shining forth, the sun god. We have forgotten this word, but refers to sun. Second verse. Yes, Vivasvat is sun god. Manu, Vaivasvat, son of the sun god. Ikshvaku is son of Manu, Vaivasvat. All are early legendary figures, and that's what Krishna is referring to here. Second verse, chapter 4th. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayah viduhu sa kale neha mahata yogo nashtaha parantapa. Interesting words and really great use of the word, the prefix param. Evam parampara praptam. Parampara, we translate parampara into tradition, but if you break the word parampara, from what came in the past, what I transferred to future, what we transferred to future. Parampara. Evam parampara. Tradition, praptam, obtained. Traditionally obtained. Obtained from tradition. Imam, this Rajarshaya Viduhu. Rajarshaya, royal sages. Translated as uses the words royal seers or royal sages. But Rajarshi refers to Janak and Vishwamitra, those who had Kshatriya background but became Brahmins by their actions, by their attitudes, by their aptitudes, by their accomplishments. They became Rajarshi. Then there is Maharshi, higher version, higher category. And then there is Brahmarshi, highest category. Brahmarshi, Maharshi, Rajarshi. So here Krishna is referring to Rajarshaya Viduhu. Viduhu comes from again the same root, with which gives us the word video in English. To know is to know is to realize. To see is to realize, right? Seeing is believing, we say, or seeing is knowing. In ancient times, in Indian culture, seeing is knowing. You have to see the knowledge. Darshan is philosophy, right? Similarly, Ved means to see, Ved means to know, Ved means to see. Also, Sa kale neha mahata. So in time, in the great time, in the long time, yoga nashtah param tapa. This was all perished. This all disappears. This knowledge disappears. This yoga disappears. So I come and I reiterate the same knowledge in different eras. That's what he's coming to. Third verse, chapter 4. Sa eva ayam maya te adya, today adya, yoga proktah puratanaha, old, bhaktah asi me sakha cha iti, rahasyam hi etad uttamam. Beautiful words here. Arjuna must be elated to hear these words by Krishna. What Krishna is saying, great, it takes lifetimes to have this word come from Lord directly for yourself. It's what a great honor for Arjuna. What Krishna is saying? Bhaktah asi me sakha cha iti. My God, what upadhi. Bhaktah, you are my favorite devotee. My friend, Sakha, you are my devotee, you are my friend, so I am telling you this knowledge. Because you are favorite to me. Which student, which friend, which colleague would not be elated to hear this coming from Krishna? So that's what Krishna is telling Arjuna directly. The highest, we think of Padma Shri and Bharat Ratna and so on. This is like Vishwa Ratna or Cosmic Ratna. Krishna has given this great award, great title to Arjuna. What? That you are my devotee, you are my friend. Sa eva ayam maya te adya. So today, the same knowledge, today, adya, right? Sa, that, eva, ayam, this knowledge, the same knowledge, maya, by me, te, to you, I'm yoga proktaha puratana. The ancient knowledge, the ancient yoga, I'm proktaha. I'm telling you, I'm speaking for you because you are my favorite. Rahasyam hi etad uttamam. This is extremely secret knowledge, best knowledge. Uttam could be highest and best. Secret, rahasyam, we all know, rahasya is a very common word in Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, North Indian languages. Rahasyam hi etad uttamam. So translated here, so this ancient yoga is today declared by me to you, since you are my devotee and friend. This secret is supreme indeed. Alright, verse 4th, Arjuna comes back. Arjuna spoke. Arjuna, as I have reminded multiple times, Arjuna simply means silver white, silver bright. Literally bright, metaphorically bright. Literally bright, metaphorically bright, Arjuna. What is he saying? Aparam bhavatah, very basic question he asks. Aparam bhavatah janma, param janma vivasvatah, katham etad vijaniyam, tvam adau proktvan iti. You say you told this knowledge to Vivasvat, but he was born ages ago, eras ago, eons ago. And you are standing in front of me right now. Then how should I understand that what you told him eons ago, eras ago, what is going on here? He is confused. What is he? So translator says, Arjuna spoke, your birth was later, the birth of Vivasvat earlier. How should I understand this, that you declared it in the beginning? Were you existing in every era? I don't know who you are. You are my friend, I'm your friend, I'm your devotee, you are in front of me. How could you speak this knowledge in ancient time? Vijaniyam is an interesting word which comes from the same root jna that gives us knowledge through Greek into English, and the same jna that gives us vidyan or science. Common Indian languages use vidyan as science. Here Vijaniyam, how should I comprehend this? Chapter 4 verse 5th now. Bahuni me, now Sri Bhagavan Vach. So Krishna now explains how he could be present in every era. Basic question by Arjuna, simple question by Arjuna, detailed answer by Krishna now. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacha Arjuna ta anya aham veda sarvani na tvam vedha param tapa. You are param tapa. Param, use of param is very interesting in these verses. Parampara, from tradition. Param tapa, the great yogi, the great sage. He is almost calling Arjuna as a great sage. Sage in not in self-mortification, but sage as a great warrior. A scorcher of foes is how this translator uses the word. Scorcher of the foe. Enemies the one who can scorch the enemies, one who can burn enemies. I would say just that great sage in the sense, the great devotion towards his skills. So Krishna always reminds Arjuna of his skills. Parantapa. But you don't know this basic knowledge, Arjuna, that even though many of my births have passed away, right? Janmani, Tavacha Arjun. And also yours. You have taken many, many rebirths. I have taken many, many rebirths. But I know them all. All the rebirths of your rebirths and my rebirths, I know them all. You do not know them. 6th verse, chapter 4th. Ajaha api san avyaya atma bhutanam ishwarah api san prakritim swam adhishthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Coming to the avatar theory now, Krishna is slowly inching towards the most famous verse of the Bhagavad Gita, the 7th verse. But before that, he's giving us this bhumika, this background he's creating. What is he saying now? Ajaha api san avyayatma. Although I am birthless, ajaha, I am unborn. Ajaha. Ja means to take birth. Like my own name, Panka and Ja. One who is born into mud, Pankaj. Neeraj, one who is born into water. Ambuj, one who is born into water. Right? Ja means to birth. Ajaha, unborn. Ajaha api sanna avyayatma. I am birthless, I am imperishable. Avyaya, my vyaya is impossible, my janm is impossible, my vyaya is impossible. Bhutanam Ishwara api san. I am also the Lord of the beings. Bhutanam Ishwara. Ishwara, Lord or God. I am Bhutanam Lord. I am Lord for all the beings. Prakritim swam adhishthaya. But by establishing, by controlling my own material nature, my prakriti, when I control, sambhavami atma mayaya. I can manifest myself, sambhavami. Remember this word coming into the next verse, and you all know the next word very well, but the word is coming back. Sambhavami atma mayaya. By my own prakriti, by my own maya, I manifest myself. And you know which verse we're talking about, the next verse, 7th verse, the most famous verse. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I told you to remember the word sambhavami. So coming back in 7th and 8th verse, and you all know this verse very well. Yada yada hi dharmasya. When the Mahabharata serial was coming on Doordarshan, this is the word that was always coming as in the beginning. Yada yada, when hi dharmasya, of dharma, glanir, downfall, bhavati, happens, bharata, Arjun, abhyutthanam, uplifting, of adharmasya, when adharm is being when adharm is uplifting, tada atmanam sajamaham, then I manifest myself, then I create myself, sajamaham, sajami aham, I create myself, sarjan, creation, manifestation. Paritrana sadhun. Why do I come? For paritran of sadhunam, of the noble people's paritran, to rescue them, to support them, to help them. Vinashaya cha dushkritam. The evil people, I finish them off. I remove them, right? For the sake of establishing righteousness, for destruction of evildoers. Dharma sansthapanarthaya. To re-establish dharma. Sambhavami yuge yuge. I am born in every age. I am born in every year. So Arjuna is asking, how could you talk to Vishwas, then Manu and so on? What you're talking about? You're in front of me. So now Krishna has laid out the entire avatar theory, which is in some form, some ways, it's present in every culture, from Egypt to Judaism to Christianity to Islam to all cultures have some idea of divinity taking some form, some shape in this world, coming back and re-establishing in their own ways, righteousness, moral orders, and so on. Just in the last episode, we did the most famous Bhagavad Gita verses. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham sambhavami yuge yuge. That you all know that verse very well. So Krishna is continuing on that theme, and he says, 9th verse now, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma na iti mam eti so Arjuna. What he's saying is that whoever knows in truth my divine birth and action, janma karma cha me divyam, divine. Divyam most likely gave us the word diva and divine in English. Etymologically, pronunciation wise, they are all connected words. Divyam and divine, right? So, he who knows in truth my divine birth and action, tyaktva deham, having abandoned his body, his or her body, after leaving the body, after having left the body, Punarjanma na eti. They are not reborn. They are not coming back for reborn. They attain moksha. Whoever knows my divine action, divine birth of Lord, that is Bhagavan Krishna or Yogeshwar Krishna, the ultimate reality, transcendental reality, once you realize that, you are automatically out of the cycle of rebirth, basically, he's saying. Having left his body, he is not reborn, he comes to me, Arjuna. So that Atma merges with Brahman, ultimate reality, that's the ultimate Advaita, Vedanta, philosophy of Hinduism. That is what is being explained in verse 9. Right, verse 10. Vitrag bhaya krodha manmaya mam upashitaha bahava jnana tapsa puta mad bhavam agataha. Similar again, who can attain moksha? One who can control their vitrag bhaya krodha. Vitrag, again I mentioned in previous episode, vitrag is a very technical term in Jain tradition. One who is beyond the rag and dvesh. Vitrag. Vitrag bhaya krodha. So Krishna, Gitakar has added 2 more words to that. One who is beyond ragas, that is likes, passions. Bhaya, fear. Krodha, anger. One who is beyond all those likes and dislikes, rag and dvesh. Manmaya mam upashritaha. One who takes refuge in me, right? Thinking solely of me, resorting to me. Many whose greed, fear, and anger have departed. Bahava gyan tapsa. Those who are tapasa, those who are practicing austerities to that extent that pursuing knowledge becomes an action of austerities. Right? Those who are purified by austerity of knowledge. Excellent translation. That's a good translation there. Putaha madbhavam agata. They have attained my state of being. Madbhavam, my state of being. Madbhavam, mad means my, bhavam, my state of being. Agataha, they have accomplished, they have approached, they have reached that state of my being when they transcend vitarag, when they transcend rag and bhaya and krodha, when they surrender to me, when they come to my refuge, they attain moksha, basically, he's saying. Verse 11. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. Very, very common, very famous, popular verse again. Not extremely popular, but familiar verse to many of us. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. Tan sa tatha eva bhajami aham. Mam vartaman anuvartante. Manushyaha parth sarvashaha. That openness of Hindu tradition, that universality of Hindu tradition is excellently explained, summarized here by Krishna. What he says, ye yatha, whoever does mam prapadyante, whoever comes to my refuge, in whatever way they come, tan tatha eva bhajami aham, I share my rewards with them. Mam vartaman anuvartante, they follow me everywhere, in all kinds of directions, in all kinds of ways. Manushyaha, human beings. Partha, O Arjun, sarvasha. So in whatever way people take refuge in me, I reward them. People everywhere, Arjuna, follow my path. In all kinds of ways, in all kinds of practices, all are welcome. All are welcome. All are welcome to follow me, take refuge in me. Prapadyante is an interesting word here. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. Padna, in Hindi, Urdu, there is a word for sharan mein padna. Main aapki sharan mein pada hoon. Pada hoon most likely came from this prapadyante, because same meaning, same sound, cognate, there is this connection by etymology also and by meaning also. Alright, now verse 12. Kangshantaha karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha kshipram hi manushe loke siddhi bhavati karmaja. By action, consequence is assured. By yajna is also kind of an action, accomplishment is assured. Keep following your path, keep following even your rituals will reward you. That's what he's explaining here. So what he says, desiring the success of ritual acts, kangshantaha, akanksha is a common Indian name for girls. Akanksha comes from this word, kangshantaha. Karmanam siddhim, accomplishment, siddhi is accomplishment. Karmanam, by action you get the consequences, your accomplishment, your consequences, your fruits of your action. Yajanta iha devataha. Even if you are doing yajanta, means doing yajnas or rituals, fire rituals, sacrifice, usually translated as sacrifice in English, bad translation, but I would prefer fire rituals at least, Agni ritual or fire ritual. Yajanta iha devata, even for gods, if you do yajna properly, if you do rituals properly. Kshipram hi manushe loke, kshipram, fast, quickly. Kshipram hi manushe loke, siddhir bhavati karmaja. From your action, you get your accomplishment. You get your consequences, your fruits, your success. People sacrifice here on earth to the Vedic gods. Quickly, indeed, in the world of people, ritual acts bring success. Even rituals bring success. Action and consequences. Verse 13 now. Oh, extremely popular, even controversial. A defense of the Varna system. Verse 13, chapter 4. Remember this. Catur-varnyam maya srstam. Guna-karma-vibhagasah. Tasya kartaram apimam. Viddhy akartaram avyayam. So Krishna is making one of those contradictory statements, but with full confidence. And as Pandurang Shastri Athavale Dadaji would say, सीना ठोक के कृष्ण कहते हैं कि मैंने 4 वर्ण बनाए. I created the 4 varnas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Catur-varnyam maya sristam. By me, passive voice, maya, by me, sristam, created, constructed, designed, by me, those 4 varnas. How did I create? Not based on birth, not based on DNA, not based on the kulas or jati, based on guna-karma-vibhagasah, based on their qualities, their actions, how people perform, what kind of qualities people have. That is how I categorize them in 4 varnas. Tasya kartaram apimam. I am the doer of those. Viddhy, but also know that akartaram avyayam. But I am also the non-doer. Know me to be the eternal non-doer. I don't do anything, but I also created these 4 varnas. System of 4 varnas was created by me according to the distribution of the qualities and their acts. Although I am the creator of the system, please note that I am also the eternal non-doer. So one of those paradoxical statements. Now verse 14th. So how do I do it? I act, but I don't act. Right? I am the creator, doer, but I am also non-doer. Now he is explaining the difference. Verse 14, chapter 4. Namam karmani limpanti. Name karm phale spriha. Iti mam yo abhijanati. Karm bhihi na sa padhyate. So here is the tip how to perform actions. Follow my example. I create these 4 varnas, but those consequences of those actions are not sticking to me. So that's what he's saying. Namam karmani limpanti. Limpanti, lep lagana. Limpanti, chipakna. Karmani, those actions do not stick to me. Name karma phale spriha. I have no desire for any consequences of my action. Krishna is explaining. Yogeshwar is explaining. Itimam yo abhijanati. One who understands this way of working. Karma bhihi na sabadhyate. That person will not be bonded by his actions, by his karma. So, translation says, actions do not taint me, do not stick to me, do not taint me. I have no desire for the fruit of action. I do it completely, selflessly, nishkam karm, definition here, right here. Thus, he who comprehends me, those who understand my way of action, are not bound by action. They remain free even after performing all those actions. And verse 15, chapter 4. Evam dhyatva kritam karma purvaihi api mumukshubhihi kuru karmai iva tasmatvam purvaihi purvataram kritam. So Krishna is again exhorting Arjuna to perform his actions following Krishna's own example of performing actions. What he says, evam dhyatva kritam karma. Having known this, the ancients, purvaihi api mumukshubhihi. Mumukshu, excellent word, desiderative word. Mumukshu comes from the root much, to free. Mumukshu, those who desire to obtain freedom. So jigivishu, vijigishu, mumukshu, all these are called as desiderative words. Their desire for life, jijivisha. Desire for victory, vijigisha. Desire for moksha, mumukshu. All these are similar words. So here the word is mumukshu. So those who desire for moksha, they knew this form of working, of performing actions, but without those actions sticking to their soul. Kuru karma eva tasmat tvam purvaihi. Yeah. So therefore perform action, Arjuna, as it was earlier performed by the ancients. Purvaihi, ancient, earlier. Just as the experts, those who desire moksha, how they perform their actions, being a non-doer, right? Doing it with nishkam karma ideology, nishkam karma methodology. If you do your actions, if you indulge in this war, basically, I think what he's saying is, if you indulge in this war with that kind of an idea of non-doer, then you don't have to worry about the consequences of your action. You do it with full, in this methodology of nishkam karma. That is the idea. That is how I have created the 4 varnas. That is how you have to perform your actions in this world. So Krishna has just explained that he created the 4 varnas, but how he created, how we should act in the world, he is still explaining. So now verse 16, chapter 4. Kim karm, kim akarm iti, kavayah api atra mohitaha, tat te karma pravakshami, yat gyatva mokshase ashubhat. So Krishna is explaining what is action, what is non-action or inaction. Instead of inaction, let's use the word non-action. So what is action, what is non-action? What? Kim karm, kim akarm. Kavayah api. Kavayah, Kavi is not a poet. No, Kavi is not just an ordinary poet. Kavi is a philosopher poet. Philosopher poet who sang the Vedic verses, Vedic richaएं जिन्होंने गाई, वो कवि. That poets of the Vedic age, Vedic times. Kavayah api atra, here. Mohitaha. Now Mohit is a very common name in North India. Mohit has actually a negative connotation. Mohit means those who are deluded. जो मोह में पड़े हैं, those who are deluded in moh, delusion. So kavis, that is the even philosopher poets are deluded here. Atra tat, that te karma pravaksham. That action now I will explain to you. Even philosopher poets are confused, deluded, but I will now explain to you. Pravakshami. Pravakshami comes from pravach. Vach means speak. Pravachan, related word. Pravachan, vachan, pravachan, pravakshami. I will speak. Yat gyatva. Having known which, gyatva, having known, yat, which, mokshase, you will attain liberation, ashubhat. Even if you indulge in war, even if you kill your cousins, that ashub, that kilbish, other word he will use soon, kilbish or pap, or commonly translated as sin. So negative karma basically, you will be free from all those like negative sins, negative karmas, ashub and kilbish and pap, if you perform your actions the way I explained to you, the methodology I am telling you now. Verse 17, chapter 4. Karmani hi api bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmanaha cha bodhavyam, gehna karmano gatihi. People sometimes now keep this signature tag on their WhatsApp status. Gehna karmano gatihi, gahana karmano gatihi. The state or the movement of karma is extremely dense, deep, incomprehensible. What are those karmas? There are different types of karmas. Karmanaha hi api bodhavyam. One must know the nature of action. Bodhavyam, you must know. This is knowable. Bodh gives us the word buddh. Buddh, awakened, enlightened, the one who knows his own state of being, right? Bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha. You should also know the wrong action. Karm is the normal action. Vikarm is wrong action, that is, or negative action, right? Then akarmanaha cha bodhavyam. Akarmaha is non-action. Action, negative action, non-action. Karm, vikarm, akarm. Gehna karma. Because karma is extremely confusing, deep, incomprehensible. So you must know this. Bodhavyam. This is knowable. This is to be known, that by which you will attain the methodology of performing actions. Verse 18. Karmanya karmaha cha yaha pashyet, akarmani cha karma yaha, sa buddhiman manusyeshu, sa yuktah kritsna karma krita. He who perceives non-action in action. Now the gist of the Bhagavad Gita, the methodology to perform karma yoga. Perform actions as if you are not performing. He who perceives non-action in action. Karmanya akarma yaha pashyet. In action, karmani. Akarma, non-action. Yaha, who, pashyet, sees. Akarmani cha karma yaha. And action in non-action. In non-action, if you can see action. Sa buddhiman manusyeshu. Within human beings, that intelligent person, sa yuktah kritsna karma krita. He is a yogi, yuktah. He is the one who is true yogi, yuktah. Kritsna karma krita. And he is the real doer, real performer of actions, because he can see non-action in action and action in non-action. Verse 19. Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dagdha karmanam tam ahuhu panditam buddhaha Panditam. Pandit is not Brahmin here. Pandit is the scholar. Tam ahuhu panditam buddhaha. Him the wise man call a sage. Panditam. He is the wise person. Who calls him Pandit? Buddhaha. Those who are awakened, those who know the reality. Ahuhu. They speak. Tam. To him. To him they call a Pandit, a scholar. Who is a Pandit? Who is a scholar? Yasya sarve samarambha. He who has excluded desire and what? Yasya sarve. Whose in all beginnings kama sankalpa varjitaha. All his desires are all gone from his, when he starts any project or any action, his own selfish desires, his own egoistic desires for that action are missing, are varjitaha, are not there. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam. He has made his action as if a tapasya, as if roasted in fire of knowledge. Gyan agni dagdha, roasted, agni, fire. Agni gives us ignis, Indo-European language word, ignis. Ignis gives us ignited, right? Ignited, ignis, agni, all connected, Indo-European languages, Greek, Latin, Sanskrit, all connected. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam. So, he who has excluded desire and motive, kam sankalpa varjitaha, from all his enterprises. I use the word projects, translated uses the word enterprises. Yasya sarve samarambha, from all his enterprises. Sarve samarambha. And has consumed his karma in the fire of knowledge. He's consumed his karma, he has made it so like a tapasya, like because his own desire is missing. So it's a tapasya for him. That is the karma yoga. Tam ahu panditam buddha, him the wise men call a sage. Verse 20. Tyaktva karma phala asangam nitya tripto nirashrayah karmanya abhipravarto api na eva kinchit karoti saha. He who has abandoned all attachment to the fruits of action, tyaktva, abandoned, karma phal, fruits of action, asangam, that attachment and the fruits of action he has abandoned. Nitya tripto, he is always content, tripta, santript, satisfied. Nirashraya, he is not dependent on any fruits of his actions. They are performing their actions without any dependence on the fruits of action, because it's a tapasya for them. It's a penance for them. Karmani, even when performing actions, karmani abhipravritto, abhipravritta, he is active. They are active in performing their actions. Na eva kinchit karoti, but they don't do anything. In effect, they do nothing. Na eva kinchit, not even little. Karoti saha, he is not performing. The Bhagavad Gita is using masculine pronouns, so probably I should stick to masculine. Saha karoti, saha is masculine, sa is feminine. So he is not performing any actions. Even if he is performing any enterprises, when he starts, he is bereft of any desire, selfish desires, and so that's how he does. Verse 21. Nirashir yata chittatma tyakta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvan napnoti kilbisham. Performing action with the body alone, without wish, restrained in thought and self, with all motives of acquisition abandoned, he incurs no evil. Like I was hinting, kurvan na apnuti kilbisham. Kilbisham is the pap or sin, commonly translated sin, but pap or kilbish or the negative karma. With all motives or motives are all nirashir. He has no motives. Asha, nirashir. Yat chitta atma. As he is doing his actions, tyakta sarva parigraha. He has abandoned all motives and he attains no pap. Verse 22nd. Yadricha labha santushto dandva tito vimatsaraha samaha siddhava asiddhaucha kritva api na nibadhyate. Content with whatever comes to him, yadricha labha santushto. He is content. He is satisfied, santushta. Transcending the duality, dvandva atit. Transcending beyond all dvanda, polarities, dualities, dichotomies, pleasure, pain, sukh, dukh, all of those are nothing for him. He is beyond all that. Vimatsara, that is envy. He is also beyond envy or jealousy. Constant in mind, samaha siddhau. He is balanced. Whether in success or in failure. Siddhau, asiddhaucha. Samaha siddhau, asiddhaucha. Success and failure doesn't affect him. Kritva api na nibadhyate. Even though he acts, he is not bound. Kritva, having done, api na nibadhyate. Badh, bondage, nibadh, na nibadhyate. He is beyond all bondage. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 23.
gata sangasya muktasya jnanavasthita chetasah yajnaya charatah karma samagram praviliyate. The work of one who is free from attachment. Gata sangasya. Sanga is attachment. When attachment is gone of that person, bahuvrihi samas, whose attachment is gone, muktasya, who is free from attachment, who is liberated from attachment, jnana vasthita chetasa, whose mind is established in knowledge, yajnaya charatah karma, and when he performs any offering, yajna, that action, samagram praviliyate, his whole personality, his whole being is dissolved in that action. Who does work only as a sacrifice, his entire work. Karma Sanyasa Yoga is the chapter's name, this chapter 4. When karma is performed as a yajna, that is itself an act of sannyas. So keep performing the action with detachment, without attachment, that itself is sannyas. So Krishna is explaining the methodology of performing action, indulging in war. He's talking to Arjun. So that's what he's explaining still. And verse 24 now. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havir Brahma Agnau Brahmana Hutam Brahma Eva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havir. Brahman is the offering. Brahman is the oblation. Yajna itself is an act of Brahman. The offering in that yajna is Brahman. Brahma Agnau. The fire is also Agnau, is Brahman. Brahmana Hutum, and Brahman is the one who is making the offering. Brahma eva tena gantavyam, his ultimate destination. Gantavyam comes from the root gam or ga. Both ga and gam mean to go. Ga gives us again Indo-European word go. Ga, go. Same meaning, same sound, cognate. Ga in Sanskrit, go in English, Latin, Greek roots, and gam also means to go. Gantavyam, goable, that is destination. Brahma eva tena gantavyam. His ultimate destination is also Brahman. Brahma karma samadhina. So Brahman is to be attained by him who always sees Brahman in action. In his karma, he sees Brahman. So Brahman pervades everything. The one who is doing the action itself, and everything is Brahman. That is the Advaita Vedanta philosophy. Every particle of the universe is pervaded by Brahman, that transcendental reality, cosmic reality. Alright, verse 25. Daivam eva apare yajnam yoginah paryupasate brahma agnau apare yajnam yajnen eva upajuvati. So different kinds of yajnas Krishna is explaining. All kinds of different actions that people perform, and they are all leading to the same goal. So Devam eva pare yajnam. Some yogins perform sacrifice to the gods. Devam eva apare. Apare, some other people do yajnas for Devam, the gods. Yoginah paryupasate. Others offer sacrifice. Some yogis perform other kinds of yajnas. Brahma adnau apare yajnam. Yajnena eva upajayati. By sacrifice itself in the fire of Brahman. Others are offering the actual physical sacrifice of offering yajnas. The bali in yajnas are also offered by others. Different kinds of yajnas. Verse 26. Shrotadini indriyanya anne sanyamagni agnishu juvati shabdadani vishayan anya indriyagnishu juvati. Others offer senses like hearing in the fire of restraint. So shrotra, to hear. Shru is the root which gives us the word Shravan, Shrotra, Shrota, Shruti. All these are words are derived from the root word Shru, which means to hear. Shrotadini, by hearing, by controlling their hearing in other senses. Right? So by controlling their senses, there's also kind of an yajna. They offer senses like hearing in the fire of reason. In that ultimate self-control, self-regulation, sanyam, that itself is kind of also yajna. So then sanyam agni juvatu. Shabdadin vishayan anya. By offering sound and other objects also of the senses, by controlling the words and so on, is also kind of a yajna in the fire of senses. So again, indriyadni shu juvati, in the fire of the senses. So ultimate self-control, senses, control of senses, indriyas, control of indriyas are also kind of yajna. Verse 27. Sarvani indriya karmani pran karmani cha apare Atma Sanyam Yoga Agnau Juvati Gyan Deepite. Others offer all actions in the senses. Sarvani Indriya Karmani. All actions that are performed by senses are also to be offered in Yajna. That's another kind of Yajna. In actions of the vital breath, that breath control, pranayam, etc. Prana Karmani, Chapple. Atma Sanyam Yoga Agno. In the fire of the yoga of self-restraint, meditation, self-control and so on, Yama and Niyamas and so on. Juvati Gyan Deepite. Which is kindled by knowledge. Knowledge of Yajna, knowledge of senses. Sanyam is also kind of Yajna. Then verse 28. Drava Yajnas, Tapo Yajna, Yoga Yajnas Tatha Apare, Swadhyaya Gyana Yajnascha, Yatayah Sanshita Vrataha. Some offer as sacrifice their material possessions. Dravya is material possession. To offer that into a sacrifice is also kind of a Yajna. Their austerities and practice of yoga, again yogas and meditation, austerities, tapasya, etc. also kind of yajna. Swadhyaya Gyana Yajna, by study of scriptures or study of self, swadhyaya, swa-adhyaya, self-study, to obtain knowledge, gyan, of obtaining of knowledge is also kind of yajna. Yataya sanshita vrataha, yati. Yatis are the sadhus or tapasvi. Another synonym for sadhu or sannyasi or sage is yati. Shiva is called as ultimate yati, the ultimate adi yogi. So yatayah sanshita vrataha, they offer study of the scripture as knowledge, as sacrifice. Ascetics of severe vows, sanshita vrata, extreme ultimate vows those who take, they are also ultimate or great yogis, great sannyasis, sages, yatis, they also are performing different kinds of yajnas. Then apane juvati pranam. Now there is a theory in Ayurveda and here also in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining pran and apan. Pran is inhalation, apan is exhalation. So even that breath control, the control of inhalation and exhalation is also kind of yajna. So that's what he's explaining in verse 29, chapter 4. Apane juvati pranam. Prane apanam tatha pare. Pranapan gati ruddhva. Pranayam parayanaha. Those who are dedicated, parayan, those who are disciplined in pranayam, they pranapan gati ruddhva. Ruddhva controls, controlling the inhalation and exhalation, that is pranayam. Prane apanam tatha para, apane. So by controlling breath, by practicing breath control is also kind of a yajna. Some offer inhalation into exhalation, others exhalation into inhalation, restraining the path of inhalation and exhalation, intent on control of the vital breath. That is also kind of yajna. We are at verse 30, Shlok 30, chapter 4. Apare niyat aharaha pranan praneshu juvati sarva api ete yagya vido yagyakshapita kalmashaha. So Krishna is still explaining all the different kinds of yajnas. By performing those yajnas, those sacrifices, those fire rituals, people can attain moksha, they can continue their spiritual journey. So what he is saying here, apare, others, niyat aharaha. Niyat comes from the word niyam. Niyam means rule in common Indian languages, but here niyam means self-regulation. Self-regulation, self-control, self-discipline. So niyat aharaha, those whose food, whose diets are regulated, controlled, disciplined. Pranan praneshu juvati, one who controls his inhalation, even that is a kind of sacrifice. Sarva api ete yajna vidud. All these are different kinds of expert practitioners of different kinds of yajnas. Yajna kshapita kalmashaha. So by performing these yajnas, these fire rituals, they remove their negative karmas, their pap or sin, commonly translated as sin, but those negative karmas are removed by performing yajnas. Others who have restricted their foods, offer the life breath into the life breath. All these are knowers of sacrifice and their evils have been destroyed through sacrifice. Alright. Verse 31, chapter 4. Yajna shishta mrita bhujo yanti brahma sanatanam nayam loko astya ayajnasya kuto anyaha kuru sattam. Yajna shishta mrita bhujo, the enjoyers of the nectar of the sacrificial remnants. Yajna shishta, the remnants, the residual from the yajnas. The enjoyers of the nectar. Amrita bhujo. Bhujo is the consumer, enjoyers. Amrita, the nectar. Nectar that is left from the residual of the yajnas. Yanti Brahma Sanatanam. Yanti, I told you last time also.
Ya is to go, aya is to come. Aya also is used now for import, ayat, niryat, to go out. Right? So yanti, he goes. They go, yanti is plural, so gender neutral, yanti, they go to Brahman, Sanatanam, the eternal, the primordial Brahman they can achieve by consuming the nectar received as a residual of the yajnas. Na ayam lokah asti ayajnasya. Kuto anyas krusatam. The one who is not, the one who are not performing yajnas cannot even consume or accomplish even the worldly things. Forget about the spiritual or the next worldly accomplishment, moksha or whatever. Even worldly activities they cannot enjoy, they cannot consume. So the translator says the enjoyers of the nectar of the sacrificial remnants go to primeval Brahman. Not even this world is for the non-sacrificing. How then the other? So Arjuna. So Krishna is again highlighting the importance of the yajnas, different kinds of yajnas, yoga and meditation, pranayam, all those types he's still talking about. All right, verse 32. Evam bahuvidha yajna vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan viddhi tan sarvan evam gyatva vimokshase. The sacrifices are of many kinds. Evam bahuvidha yajna. The 5 rituals, all these practices are of many, many, many kinds. Vitata brahmano mukhe, they take you towards the Brahman. Vitata, spread out before Brahman. They are spread out before Brahman. They take you towards Brahman also. Karmajan viddhi tan sarvan. Know them all to be born of action. Karmajan. They are all born in action. Action is superior. Action is equated with yajna. When Krishna is saying all kinds of yajnas, even Arjun, what he is going to do now in this war will be kind of a yajna for his role as a kshatriya. So karmajan, so that is born into action. Viddhi, know this. Second person singular. Tan sarvan, know all of these. Know all the yajnas to be born in action. Evam gyatva vimokshase. Having known this, Jaran, gyatva, jankar. Having known this, vimokshase. Future tense, second person singular. Know this and you will be released. Know this and you will be liberated. Know this and no negative evil sin, any pap will not attach to your soul if you know the secret of performing action, performing yajna. Verse 33. Shreyan dravyam ayad yajnaj gyan yajnah parantapah. Knowledge is superior. Sarvam karma akhilam partha. All of this is karma. Gyane parisamapyate. Better, so what Krishna is now comparing, better than the sacrifice of material possession. Instead of putting grain or ghee or soma into yajnas, the material possessions, perform the wisdom sacrifice, gyan yajna. Perform a sacrifice, perform a fire ritual in which you sacrifice, in which you offer your knowledge, your wisdom. Gyan is not just knowledge, Gyan is wisdom. Your wisdom, if you offer into the yajnas, that is the supreme kind of a action, supreme kind of a yajna. All action without exception, Arjun. All of this is fully comprehended. All action must be rooted in Gyan, in wisdom. If that wisdom of that selfless action, of not attaching your ego to your action, if you are wise enough, then you don't worry about any of the evil things that might happen, even with this bloody war that you're going to indulge in. Because you are detaching from it, your ego is detached from your action, then you can still perform. That is what is the context where he's explaining all kinds of yajnas and so on. 34th verse, chapter 4. Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya ubdekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Tad viddhi, again second person singular. So Krishna is talking to Arjuna. Krishna is saying, Tad viddhi, know this. Pranipatena, through humble submission. Pranipatena, I need your surrender. So indirectly he's saying, and Arjuna will say, I surrender to you. Pranipatena, through humble submission. Pariprashnena sevaya, through inquiry. So like Arjuna is already inquiring, pariprashnena sevaya, through service on your part. So do it as your service. Submit, surrender, service. Ubdekshanti te jnanam. Thus knowing when the knowing ones, the perceiver of, will be led to teach you knowledge. The knowing ones, the perceiver of knowledge will be led to teach you knowledge. Ubdekshanti te jnanam. They will teach you, they will preach you, they will guide you, they will advise you. Jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Those who are wise, those who know the tattva gyan. Tattva word is very important. Tattva usually is translated as element. But tattva in Indian philosophy is thatness, that which is the ultimate truth. Tattva Gyan is the ultimate philosophy which talks about the eternal reality of Brahman.
The tattva darshinaha, those who can visualize that tattva, are the supremely wise philosophers. Jnanaha. Those wise people will teach you, will preach you, and Krishna, I guess, is including himself in that. If you surrender, if you do as a service, then you will attain the wisdom from the wise people, including Krishna indirectly, I'm sure. 35th verse now, chapter 4. Yaj gyatva na punarmoham. Having known, no further illusion. Evam yasyasi pandava. You will enjoy that. You will gain that knowledge. Yen bhutani asheshena drakshasya atmanya atho mai. Knowing that, yad gyatva, jankar, again, gerund again. You shall not again, na punarmoham. Again, you will not be asking. Evam yasyasi pandava. Fall into delusion, Arjuna. You will not fall into delusion. Punarmoham. Moham, you will not fall back into moham. Right? And by that knowledge, you shall see all beings. Yen bhutani asheshed. Nothing will be out of your wisdom, out of your reach. Asheshed. Shesh means remainder. Ashesh, nothing remains. You can see comprehensively everything in wisdom. Right? In yourself and also in me. So, drakshasya atmani atomai. In me, there are all beings. In you, there are all beings. That Advait philosophy, in everything, there is one supreme being, that is Brahman. In all your opponents, in your side, that is Pandavas, in Kaurava's side, in Krishna, in everything, you will see one supreme Brahman if you know the wisdom behind all this philosophy. Then verse 36. Api ched asi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakritam sarvam gyan plavenaiva vrajinam santarishyasi. Even if you were the most evil, api ched asi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakritam, compared to all other evildoers, papis, if you were the supreme papi compared to other papis, even then you would cross over all wickedness. Sarvam gyan plavena. Plavena is a boat. By the knowledge boat, by the boat of knowledge, by the ship of knowledge, you will cross the oceans of evilness or pap or sin, whatever word you use. But pap, ocean, you can transcend by the boat of knowledge. Right? You would cross over all wickedness by the boat of knowledge. Rajinam santarishyasi. Tarishyasi. Terna word in Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Punjabi. Terna comes from this tarishyasi. Tar is the root. Tarishyasi. You will cross. Second person, future tense, singular. Santarishyasi. You will cross over the ocean of evilness, wickedness, pap and so on. If you ride on the boat of knowledge. 37th verse, 4th chapter. Yatha edhansi samidhah agnihi bhasmasat kurute arjuna jnanagnihi sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, just as fire burns away the firewood. Firewood word here is yatha edhansi. Edhansi gives us the Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Punjabi word indhan. Indhan means firewood. Just as fire burns away the firewood, edhansi, samidhaha burns away, agnihir, fire burns the firewood. Bhasmasat, it just combustion takes place and it burns everything. Kurute, happens, does, Arjuna, O Arjuna. Jnanagnihi, the fire of knowledge, fire of wisdom. Sarv karmani, all your actions can be bhasmasat kurute. Just as fire burns away the firewood, your knowledge, your wisdom will burn away all your karmas, all your actions. Do not worry. Do not worry. Just indulge in this war and kill your enemies because that's your duty. That's the basic essence. All the other is context that Krishna is adding and giving all kinds of examples. So wisdom can burn away all the actions and the residual imprints on memory of all those actions. 37 verse is done. Now 38th verse. Nahi jnanen sadrisham pavitram ih vidyate tat swayam yoga sansiddhah kalen atmani vindati. Nahi jnanen sadrisham pavitram ih vidyate. Many university logos have this line written in India. Nahi jnanen sadrisham. Nothing is more pious, nothing is more pure, nothing is more valuable, nothing is more sacred than knowledge. Sadrisham, equal. Jnanen, compared to knowledge. Pavitram, sacred. Tat swayam yoga sansiddhah. Just as No purifier equal to knowledge is found here in the world. He who is himself perfected in yoga, tat swayam yog sansiddham, one who is accomplished in yoga, kalen atmani vindati. Vindati gives us the English word find, vindati finds. He finds himself through knowledge, because knowledge is the most sacred, most purifying agent that you have. So indulge in action with this wisdom, with this knowledge, and you will be untouched. 39th verse. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Very popular line, very famous line, very well-known line. Tat parah sanyat indriyah gnanam labdhva param shantim achiren adhigacchati. Quickly. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. One who has faith will obtain this wisdom. Your surrender, your faith in me. So Krishna is indirectly hinting at Arjun that you need to have faith on what I am teaching. Shraddhavan, you need to become faithful. Labhate jnanam, you will obtain knowledge. Tat parah sanyat indriyah, devoted to the restraining your senses. Sanyam, restrain. Indriyah, senses. Tat parah, you need to be devoted to that. And jnanam labdhva param shanti, having obtained knowledge, you will obtain the ultimate peace. Achiren, quickly, adhigacchati, you will obtain supreme peace, having obtained knowledge through faith. He who possesses faith attains knowledge, devoted to that knowledge, restraining his senses, having attained knowledge, he quickly attains supreme peace. Yes. Alright, 39th is done. 40th verse now. Now what about ignorant ones? So he's saying now, Krishna is explaining the one who does not have knowledge. Agyaha or agneha cha ashraddhanaha cha sanshayatma vinashyati na ayam lokah asti na parah na sukham sanshayatmanaha. If you have doubt, Arjuna has a lot of doubts. So Krishna is disparaging the one who has doubts. Agneha, you will remain ignorant. Those who are ignorant, agyaha cha ashraddhanaha cha, those who have no faith. Sanshayatma, those who are always doubting. Vinashyati, he will perish. He or she will perish. Na ayam lokah, not this knowledge. Asti na paraha, for them neither they obtain this world nor they obtain the other world. Na sukham sanshaya atmanaha, those who have doubts in their mind, they have no bliss, they cannot attain any happiness. The man who is ignorant and does not have faith, who is of a doubting nature, is destroyed. Neither this world nor that beyond, nor happiness is for him who doubts. Verse 41. Yoga sanyastah karmanam, yoga sanyasta karmanam, jnana sanchinna sanshayam, atmavantam na karmani, nibdhananti dhananjaya. So one who action does not bind him, nibdhananti. Badna is giving us the word bondage, or bandh or badna is coming from the bad root in Sanskrit. So bad is the root, yes. So nibdhananti dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is Arjun. He who is again jnana sanchina, who has broken his doubts through knowledge. Action does not bind him. Who has renounced action through yoga. Yoga sanyasta karmanam. Yoga sanyast. Sanyast means who is renounced and who is established in yoga. Who has renounced action through yoga. Whose doubt is cut away by knowledge. Jnana sanchinna sanshayam. Jnana sanchina, pierced away, destroyed, removed. Sanshayam, all doubts. And who is possessed of the self. Atmavantam, who is established in self. Atmavantam, na karmani. So for him, action does not bind him and he is free. Verse 42, and that's the last verse of the 4th chapter. Tasmat adnyan sambhutam ritstham gnana sina atmanah chitva enam sanshayam yogam atishtah uttishth bharata. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, O Bharata, O descendant of the primordial, the mythical, legendary king Bharata, O descendant of Bharata. So your Bharat, all of the people of Bharat are all descendants of the ancient primordial king Bharat, legendary king Bharat. Uttisht Bharata, get up, stand up. Uttisht, tisht means to stay, to sit. Tisht comes from the root stha, which gives us English word stay. Stay. Stha is here tisht. Tisht is to stay. Uttisht. Ut prefix to any verb means to rise up. Uttisht.
Uttishta Bharata. Yogam atishtaha. Perform yoga, resort to yoga. Yoga in your, that detached action is yoga here. Karma yoga, that is. Right? So he says, therefore having cut away with your own sword of knowledge. Jnana sina atmanaha. Asinaha is the sword. By that sword of knowledge, jnana sinaha, that is sword of knowledge, atmanaha, your own sword of knowledge, ritstham, the doubt in your heart, ajnana sambhutam ritstham. Rit refers to heart. Cognate, again, heart in English is derived from rit in Sanskrit. Both have the same meaning, same sound, similar sound and similar meaning, same meaning. Tasmat ajnana sambhutam ritstham jnanasina. By that sword of wisdom, sword of knowledge, cut away your doubt and perform your yoga of action, and get up and fight, that is. So therefore, having cut away with your own sword of knowledge this doubt that proceeds from ignorance and abides in your heart, resort to yoga, stand up, Arjun. So very inspiring, very motivating lines from Krishna to Arjun. Get up, stand up, Uttishta Bharat. And this actually comes from the Kathopanishad, which Swami Vivekananda used all over the world, wherever he went, in US and UK and India, of course. He said, what did he say? Uttishtat jagrat prapya varani bodhat. Same word, Uttishtat. Get up. Uttishtat, jagrat, wake up. Uttishtat jagrat prapya varani bodhat. Stop not till your goal is reached. That verse from Kathopanishad was used by Swami Vivekananda. Krishna is using here a similar line. Uttishta Bharat. Get up and fight. Stand up and fight. Do your karma yoga.